Today we are learning about stem and leaf plots. The main idea is to display and analyze data in a stem and leaf plot. So of course our new vocabulary is the stem and leaf plot. The leaf is going to be a specific part of the stem and leaf plot. On the left side here we will have the stem, which is typically going to stand for our tens place. In rare situations can also stand for our ones place if we have decimals we're dealing with. Whereas on the right, we are going to either be dealing with that ones place or the decimal place. So, as an example, typically once you do your stem and leaf plot like this, we're going to make a key. So, we would say if we were dealing with numbers like 54, we would put 54. In this case, this is 5/4 because 5 would be on this side, 4 would be a leaf. So 5 is on the stem side, 4 is on the leaf side. And we would explain that this means 54 pounds, let's say. And that's also where you're adding your label, which is very important. On example 1, we have baseball. The table below shows the number of home runs that Babe Ruth hit during his career from 1914 to 1935. Make a stem and leaf plot of the data. So we're probably going to need a little bit bigger page here, so we're going to zoom out. So doing our line across the top here, then a line down. Again, on the left side we're going to have our stem. On the right we're going to have our leaf. And again, reading the label here, it says home run. So somewhere on here, I'll do it right above the graph, we want to say, I would pick a point they gave us, say 54. And say 5/4 being the, it should be a straight slash, just like between stem and leaf. And this means that it is 54, and I'll just write HR for home runs, because that's how they shorten it in baseball. So, I'm going to erase my circle around 54, because now I need to look for my lowest numbers. So I'm seeing that we have a 0, 2, 3, 4, 6, and then I see an 11, but we want to deal with just the numbers from 0 to 9, because those numbers, are going to have a stem of 0, because they have 0 in the tens place. So I'm starting off with 0, 0, and that is equal to 0 that we have in our first year. Then I can cross that off. Then I have 0, 2. As you notice, we're going in numerical order. So we're going from least to greatest. Then I have 0, 3, and 0, 4, and lastly 0, 6. I'm going to switch my color here because as I'm getting on top of the graph, it's going to look a little sloppier. So next I move on to my stems with 1 in the tens place. I see 11, and that's the only one I see. So 11 is 1, 1, right? 1, 10, 1, 1. Next we have 20s. We're moving back to black here. For 20 I see 22, 29, 25. So in order that would be 22, 25, and 29. So now double cross those out. Now we're on to 30s. 30s I see a 34 and a 35. So 34, 35. Now we're on to 40s. So we're going to move down here, switch colors. 40s. I see 41, 41, 46, 46, 46, 47, 49. Why do I always underline these and kind of do some sort of Xing off? Just because then I know which ones I've done and which one I haven't. Otherwise I'm looking at a big table still full of numbers and it can be a little more confusing. So also if I see something that's not checked off, then I know I haven't put that on my stem and leaf plot yet. So now I have 41 2 times, so that's why I wrote 41. I wrote 4, then I got the stem finished, then I have 2 leaves of 1 because I have 2 41s. My next number is 46, and actually I have 3 of those. So we're going to have 3 leaves of 6. 47, so 1, 7, and lastly 1, 9. Going down one more, we have 54, 54, 59. So we've got 2 4s and a 9. And lastly, we have 6, 0 for 60. And that's our stem and leaf plot. quite a bit of work for categorizing that. What, we had 22 different numbers there? Yep, about 22 numbers. So, but if we look at it, comparing the graph to what we have our stem and leaf, it's a little easier, especially if we're trying to find maybe the mode or the median, because now we have it in order, and it's kind of nice and neat. Moving on to the next one here, kind of hinted on that we're going to need to find some information from what they're giving us here. So fitness, the stem and leaf plot below shows the number of miles that Megan biked each day during July. We want to find the range. So range, kind of a reminder, range is equal to the maximum minus the minimum. This is pretty easy to find when using a line plot. It's also very easy to find when using a stem and leaf plot, because our lowest number on the stem is going to have our biggest number. So we have 3 on the bottom here. It only has one leaf of 0, so 30 is our maximum. And our minimum's on the top, since we have 0 in the 10 spot and a leaf of 5. So we're going to have 5 as our minimum. Looks like that appears 3 times. 30 minus 5 gives us 25, and that is our range. The next thing they want us to find is our median. Remembering, median is the middle number. So they did not give us how many days she biked, so we're going to have to count how many leaves we have here. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 20 days. So 20 divides evenly by 2, so we're going to have 2 numbers in the middle for median. So going back here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 are our 2 middles. So they're both the same number of 2 as our leaf, 1 is our stem, so that means our number is 12. So our median is 12. We don't need to average 12 and 12 because they're the same number. If you got 12 on 2 tests, your test average would be 12. Next, we're going to find mode. And I noticed that while counting, I saw a lot of 5s. So I see 3 5s here, but the next line we had 4 zeros. These zeros belong to the 1. So I don't see anything that appeared more than 4 times, so our mode is the one that appears the most frequently, is going to be the number 10. Then we are done. That wasn't too hard to complete that in a rather quickly manner. Now we have animals. The average lifespan of several animal species is shown in the stem and leaf plot. Which measure of central tendency is most affected by the inclusion of the outlier? Again, this is a lot of vocabulary that we have to know there. We know that by measure of central tendency, they're talking about our 3 M's with the R, right? Mean, median, and then lastly we've got mode. We can also include range, but more often than not, they won't count that as a measure of central tendency, because when we did cover that section, it was titled Measures of Central Tendency and Range. So we won't include range because that is typically not included in the vocabulary of measure of central tendency. So with mean, we got to find what the original mean is and what the new mean is. Just thinking about the plot here, if I had 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 10, 12, 12, 12, 15, 15, 16, 18, and so on, we got 4 more 20s, a 22, and all of a sudden I got a 40. Say if it was a test, my score would definitely go up because I didn't get a score above 22, and then all of a sudden I got a 40. So my new mean is definitely going up. My original, we'll just put kind of a dash for now. If we want, we can calculate it out though. Let's look at the next 2 first to see if they're changing much before we need to calculate. So our median, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We're just going to look at these 18 for now, then we'll do the 19. So 18 again is the even number. Divisible by 2 we'll get 9, so we have to look at numbers 9 and 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're looking at these 2 numbers. So 12 plus 15 divided by 2 for our median. We get 27 divided by 2 is going to be 13.5. 13.5. Then looking at our mode. Our mode, the one that appears most often, does not change at all. It is 20 because that appears 4 times. So mode, unchanged. Mean, increase. Median. Now that we add that 40, we're going to have to find how many we have again. We got 4, 8, 12, 16, 17, 18, 19. So now our middle one's going to be 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Our middle one's now 15, so we increase by 1.2, but our average is definitely going to increase more than 1.2, and we'll show you that in the calculator here. 3 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 plus 10 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 again plus 15 plus 15 plus 16 plus 18 plus we got 420, so that's going to be 80 plus 22 plus, so we got 243 before we add again. 243 is a good one to remember. We're going to go back, so now we have 243, and that was divided by 18. So going back, we have 243 divided by 18, and we get 13.5. So 13.5 compared to, now let's add 40 to 243. That gets us 283. So 283 divided by 19, we went up to 14.9. So in this situation, it was close, but actually our median increased more than our mean. So that was the last problem we will do regarding this section. If you have any more questions or need any more assistance, feel free to check out the Personal Tutors online.